So hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Amesie's Corner. How are you all doing out there? So it's beautiful springtime finally. Boy, what a hell of a winter this has been. And it's time to come up and make our yearly pilgrimage to check out the abandoned dealership and the lost Sonnet. Now, I've had a lot of requests to come and find this car and pull this car out. I just want to say that I don't really want the lost Sonnet. I have my own Sonnet. I find enough online for sale that gets sent to me that if I want to make a drive, I can find a good Sonnet that I could get a lot easier and with a lot less work than it would be to dig this car out of the woods. That being said, there are a few parts I would love to have off of the lost Sonnet. It has 4 soccer ball wheels plus the spare soccer ball wheel, which is sitting in somewhere near there, and for safekeeping I didn't want it to disappear. You know, it is what it is. I also heard that the abandoned dealership is now a parking lot. Someone left a comment down below on one of the videos we made of that place, and some local said that the whole building's gone now. Now I don't know if he was just talking about the shed area that got taken out that we had seen on camera, or is the whole place gone now? I know the building looked like it was in quite a state of disrepair, and it wouldn't be a far stretch to say that it got condemned and, you know, maybe the taxes weren't paid, or they probably were, or maybe it was just, you know, needed to be used as something that could be used. I've also, someone left in the comments, a different person, local, said they went to the lost Sonnet and it's now 10 feet underground. Which kind of makes sense because last time we were there, I believe last year, there was actually for sale signs on the land. Now, we've had a lot happen. I didn't get to call those numbers just because usually in a case like this, when there's a car somewhere, when you let somebody know you're interested in it, either it disappears or they want you to get rid of it, and they want you to get rid of it right away. And I was afraid that if I had contacted those people, it would have started a timer that I wouldn't have been able to do anything with in the amount of time before that timer went off, before the person got fed up and put a for sale sign on it. Not that that car is worth anything. We saw in some of the older videos, these Sonnets, when they get to a point, which my Sonnet was just at that point, if you don't do something right then with them, the firewall separates from the engine bay, and that's pretty much the end. That's curtains for the car. And I fear that this Sonnet buried in the woods up here is pretty much beyond that state. I think the only thing holding that car together is the dirt that it's buried in. It's a shame that, you know, I couldn't have found out about that car 15, 20 years ago. It probably would have been salvageable, but, you know, we were hoping in the first videos that that car may have somehow, as like, sometimes a body buried in peat won't decompose. Sometimes a World War II tank put in a bog in Poland never rusts out, comes out in better shape. I was hoping, but in one of the videos we did some digging, and there's not a lot left underground of that car. But it's going to be interesting to see if it's still there. It's going to be interesting to see if that old dealership still stands, if the cars are still inside of there. And yeah, we'll go from there. I'm about a mile from it now. We just entered the Weir. We just crossed the Weir. I wonder how you say that. That's like Haverhill. 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 People call up saying, hey, are you from Haverhill?
No,
it's Haverhill, but it's the same thing with Weir. I wonder how you say it. Well, anyways, guys, I got to drive. We got to take some corners, and yeah, we should be there shortly. Well, all right, guys, here we are. The lost Sonnet's final resting spot, at least for now. And it is right where we left it. Exactly as we left it. Oh, you poor car. Love to know the story of why someone buried it here. I still believe this was owned by some kid just by the paint job and the stereo equipment we found in it before. I bet you this was owned by some kid who just was getting in too much trouble with what looked like a really fast car. There's Jensen speakers put in there. Yeah. Tagged. Really not a whole lot to say about it anymore that I haven't said before. Now, if I was a bug, I'd want to live in here. Oh, the prints are gone. Look, someone put an air freshener in there. Who did that? Leave down in the comments. Who did that? You know. Now the print's gone. The stickers are gone. Who who left the air freshener? Get out of here. How funny is that? Boy, it's hard to get into this car. But yeah, like I was saying before, I actually dug down into this floor a few years ago, and there's nothing there. There's no floor. That rocker panel's completely rotted out and gone. But yeah, still some decent parts though. I mean, the gauges still probably be okay. The electronics inside might need a little freshening up. The dashboard could probably go in another car. And what I'm really interested in the most is it has all 4 soccer ball alloy wheels. And I gotta say, I would love a set of soccer ball wheels for the 96. And I'd say for me, that is probably the only thing really worth digging out of this car. The trunk, we dug the trunk out. There's nothing there. No surprise, I guess. No surprise. But yeah, there's another soccer ball wheel. Oh, and there's another soccer ball wheel. So it has all 4 soccer balls, plus hidden in the woods. Roughly that direction right there is the spare soccer ball wheel. I just didn't want someone to come out here and scrap it. You know, I mean, scrap prices aren't very high. I'd hate to see a soccer ball wheel end up turned into beer cans. And there's that Taunus. There's that V4. Still a lot of it in there. You can see things like the brake reservoir. That might be all right. Washer bottle. Wonder if that would work on the 96. This tank might be all right. I mean, so yeah, there are a few good parts here. Is it worth taking the whole car out of here for the amount of work, the amount of days it would take to dig it out, bring a vehicle up here to tow it back? It's not going to come out in one piece, and then deal with all the parts, storing it. I could just find parts online. Probably, like I said, the only thing really worth anything on this car are those soccer ball wheels, and they're going to need a lot of reconditioning. You're not just going to take the wheels off this car, dig it out, and slap some tires on them. They're going to need to be completely stripped and blasted and refinished and all that. But anyway, you know, I wish I owned a piece of property with an old rare Saab Sonnet rotting on it. I just rent property that has an old rare Saab Sonnet rotting away on it, but you guys know enough about my car. Well, anyways, guys, I don't know much more to say about that other than it's not 6 feet under. There is some construction. There is some dirt work that's been going on over here. Maybe I'll come up here on the Gold Wing a couple times this summer, and if a house is being built, I'm sure they're gonna know, or maybe even they'll give me permission to take what's off of it, what I could use off of it. But anyways, why don't we go take a ride to the abandoned dealership and see if that still stands. It's going to be interesting to see if any of the building's still there, or maybe the cars are gone. Maybe something's different. Be nice to know. Maybe the place is exactly the way it was and all those cars are still in there. Kind of hard to believe that so many cool cars can sit in one building and no one really messes with them or anything. Well, anyways, guys, let's get on the road. Okay, guys, I'm here at the abandoned dealership, and it still stands. It's still sitting right pretty much the way we left it, and it looks like everything that was in there is still in there. Yeah, still an old car for sale sign. Look at that, huh? Just as dusty as the last time we saw it. Look at all the pigeon crap on the what is that, over there, whatever. Wow. They just sit. Another year down, and nothing really moves in this place. Boy, if this was any place else in the world than backwood New Hampshire, I think all these cars would have disappeared. Just rotting out in place. Every year we come, they get a little more rusty. They get rot out a little more. There's that Cadillac Cimarron. What a horrible idea those were. Everything's pretty much just as it left. Looks like a few more broken windows here and there. It's a shame. There's that, what was that, the 300 in there? I don't remember. Fire truck sitting right where it was. Looks like the only part actually gone is just the building here and the sinkholes, and probably not the safest place in the world. If I didn't know any better, I'd say the rear wheels on that fire truck are about to break through. What's that motor there? Anybody know what that is? That looks like for maple syrup production. All right, what motor we got there? I'm not getting any closer. I'm staying right on the sidewalk here. I've learned my lesson about walking in. Even though I was contacted by these people, that's when we went up to view the Wyman's dealership. Was somebody associated with the people that own this, invited me up there, but never really went anywhere from there. Continental, that's the Get a Grip Continental, right? It says Get a Grip on the back. What is this thing? What is this gantry thing for? Electric motor with a winch. I wonder what that's used for. What a unique, weird piece of equipment that is. What an unsafe looking piece of equipment, huh? And I'm not going to walk any closer to it, but it looks like everything's right where it was. I look inside, I see, you guys may be able to zoom in a little more. Like I said, there's no trespassing sign, so I'm staying on the roadside here in this case, even though there's a sign saying it. I've learned my lesson, boys. I've learned my lesson looking at old cars someplace. Looks like someone smashed out a window. I wonder what that's all about. Wonder if it was just maybe the building settle. Also, another thing that happens to these big windows when you're on a road like this, when they plow down, chunks of ice can get thrown through a window like that. So maybe that was just maybe that's just you know, an accident. I'd like to think and hope no one was actually breaking in here to steal anything. Now, people say you're gonna come here and pull up with a flatbed and just take them all out. I had a lot of those comments. There's buildings around, there's businesses around. You try to do anything here, you try to do anything more here than what I just did walking through, the cops will be here in minutes. I'm not exactly sure where the police station is, but I know they can get here pretty quick. From the first or second time we came here, they came just as we were leaving, and you know, they were all right with me looking pretty much like we just did, but they told me if I had gone into the building, I'd be leaving in cuffs. So, well, all right, guys, when we get back to the car, people are starting to look at what I'm doing. So, well, all right, guys, there they are. Not a lot's changed. I don't know what the trolls commenting about them being gone were talking about. Maybe they were just being trolls, leaving comments. It is what it is. But yeah, the lost Sonnet, I mean, other than those wheels, there's really not a lot of value in it for me to come up and grab it and save it. There's other Sonnets that are in far better condition that would take far less work to get on a trailer than that car would. And as far as the dealership, a lot of you guys are always asking for phone numbers and to put you in contact with the owners of those vehicles. Now, that's a problem. When I won't give out a phone number unless I have express permission to give a phone number out. And there's been a few times in the past we found a car, talk on the side of the road, talk to the owner, and had their consent to use their phone number. And that also comes with me giving them my phone number so that when they don't want to get calls anymore, they can call me and I can take the number off, which is important. Because ultimately, you know, I have 30,000 plus subscribers. Some of these videos get millions of views, and you know, that can ruin a phone line for somebody really fast when you have people from all across the world. You know, it's a global audience. You guys are a global audience, and there are time zones. You might be watching this video at 4 p.m. where you are. It could be 4 a.m. where I am. You try to call these people and they get real mad real fast. So I apologize. I can't give out numbers if I don't have permission to give out numbers. You wouldn't want me giving your phone number out to a global audience. It would just cause problems for everybody involved, except for the person calling, which is kind of the problem. So yeah, everything's still just as we left it. Those Mustangs and Continentals and Firebirds and that Dodge, whatever it was, is still just sitting right where it was. You know, if this was any other part of the world, they'd probably be just gone. But you know, it's a small town, and everyone's talking to everyone. Everyone knows, so no one's just going to come steal a car with a flatbed. Shame on you for saying that, leaving the comment down there. So if you were the guilty party leaving the black ice air freshener in the Sonnet, I got a kick out of that one. I really did. Kudos. I hope you enjoyed the gifts I left in the glove box. I guess that's a fair trade. You make the lost Sonnet smell a little better, and you can have that print of the old Saab print there. Well, anyways, guys, it's been a cool adventure. Maybe we'll go back and take a look next year. Maybe we'll have some info. Honestly, I was kind of hoping to see some change. I was kind of hoping to see that dealership be a parking lot, because that meant that all of those cars would be somewhere being enjoyed and being loved instead of rotting away. You know, the ones in the woods are really, the ones in the building rather are probably going to last a long time, but you know, that Continental that's outside and that Firebird, they're getting worse and worse every year. Well, anyways, guys, I could talk about these things all day long. Comments down below, thumbs up much appreciated. On that note, and until next time, guys, keep it out of the cabbage.